That's the one clear thing that PortonDown has left me, the fear of deep, still water. I never told anybody what happened to me at PortonDown for years. I'm Don Webb. I'm 85 this year. What turned me into a writer was something that happened to me in 1953. It was so near to war that there wasn't much money about. So at the age of 15, my family told me I needed to get a job. When you join the service, there's an instant dehumanizing process, which you respond to any order immediately and without question. They came to the unit where I was, and they said, we were looking for some volunteers to take part in some common cold trials. Now, any soldier will tell you never volunteer for anything, ever. So the next step was said, okay, you, and you. You've just volunteered. The thing that I do remember particularly was when we saw PortonDown itself, because it was secure with wire and the gate was very, very carefully checked. A prison. That's what it looked like. There was some sort of pep talk. And there were two of them, and they were wearing white coats, and they said, you're going to be taking part in some important tests. And now sign here, and you signed it.
Welcome, subject. We will now begin the examination. First, we'll begin with some calibration. Please stand up straight. All right, look at the clock, please. Subject is about 1.91 meters tall. Now, please hold out your hands in front of your body and wiggle your fingers. All right, let me take a look. Your hands are smaller than the average subject. Good. Please have a seat. Good. Now look to your left. And lastly, look to your right. Subject has trouble distinguishing left from right. Turn your head to the right as far as you can. All right, with that out of the way, let's start the first test. Let me explain the test. See that red button in front of you? When it changes to green, hit it as fast as you can. Very good. It seems your reaction time was about 0.8 seconds. Do you think you can do better? Interesting. All right, let's relax for a moment. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Now we will begin the next test. Very good. It seems your reaction time was about 0.7 seconds. Your results will be extremely helpful. See you tomorrow.
The second day, we went through a battery of tests that were absolutely unbelievable. We had to measure every atom of food that we ate and fluid that we drank, and they collected sweat off our arms. We were photographed naked by a young woman. I'm 18, and you try and not get an erection. I mean, you try. And incidentally, those photographs ended up with the women that worked in the canteen. And they had galleries of them, we found out later on.
Welcome back, subject. Today we will test your oral reaction time. Yesterday, you had an average reaction time of 0.75 seconds. That's a bit slower than the average person, but I know you can do better. Here comes the first test. Hit the button as soon as you hear a bell sound. Okay, another yes/no question. Please answer as quickly as possible. Do you consider yourself overly impulsive? Okay, duly noted. Let's start again. All right, our last test for the day will be a bit different. Turn to the bell when it rings. I see your reaction time to oral stimuli is about 5 seconds. Thank you, subject, for your hard work. We'll see you tomorrow.
The third day, they said, oh, we want you to take something now. There's no adverse effects of any kind. You're just going to drink something, and then we're going to see what, if any, effect it has on you. One of the other test subjects and I walked back to the billet. He said to me, do you feel anything? And I said no. And all of a sudden he started to snicker. And within a very short space of time, we were laughing hysterically. The laughing stopped. And then the hallucinations started.
Greetings, subject. Today is more reaction tests, I'm afraid. Before that, another yes/no question. Have you ever doubted your capacity for normal love? I see. Okay, time for testing. Hit the button when it changes to green. You know the drill by now. 2 more to go. Now, we'll do another oral reaction test. Turn to the bell when it rings. I see your reaction time to oral stimuli is about 5 seconds. All right, one more visual reaction test for the day. Do not strike the button if the color turns yellow. After 3 days of testing, your average reaction time is 1.24 seconds. How does that make you feel? I see. What an interesting subject. Thank you very much for your hard work. We'll see you soon.
We were dosed again on every day. And it didn't even seem to be precisely measured. There was an inch of a clear viscous fluid over every flat surface if I looked at it for any length of time. Now that was incredibly disturbing. The psychiatrist was going through the same set of tests that he had done before. Bells would sound. He would ask me about smells and sounds. He was tremendously interested in it. He kept saying, how do you feel? I find that I was just laughing, sleeping and watching the walls dissolve.
Is everything okay?
He was this and right down their cheeks while you were talking to him.
Feeling fine?
Your face would break off. Uncontrolled laughter. You don't want it. It's like being in an hour. Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, I was released back to the home unit with no explanation of what had happened. I couldn't sleep. The unit was by the docks, surrounded by deep water. And there were flashbacks, and you suddenly think, are the walls moving again?
I asked to see the medical officer, and I said, we've been given something at PortonDown, and I'm a bit frightened of it, and I can't sleep. He sat me down and talked to me. He said, no, he said, you're imagining it. And he showed me the papers. He said, you were infected with the common cold virus. That you start to doubt yourself. I'm going nuts. I did, in fact, repress what had happened to me at PortonDown for something like 15 years. I never told anybody. I started drinking very heavily and lost my wife, lost my kids, lost my house, lost my job. So everything sort of fell to pieces.
Suddenly, Mark sits up in bed and screams. He raises one hand towards something off and stops as he catches sight of the scalpel he is holding. He screams again. Through a theatre, I met Lynn, an actress. She was the only person I had really talked to about it.
She just said to me, why don't you write about what happened to you? Make a play of it. And I started to research.
By then, it was the late 1970s, and stories were being told in the press about a party drug, LSD. And then there were reports that the CIA had been running tests with hallucinogens. And some men had been killing themselves, jumping out of windows.
That took my breath away. And I suddenly started to put two and two together, really. That they had given me what was potentially a very dangerous drug. Writing the play helped me to decide what had happened to me. It was put on, well received. And I took whatever it was that I could out of the experience, and I turned it into a career.
I'm in a group now called the Official Playwrights of Facebook. Kids write in and say, how do I become a playwright? I wouldn't recommend anyone to go and be a guinea pig for PortonDown, but I would recommend to anyone starting out to be a writer that they should take all of the experience that life has afforded them and roll it into their craft, the same way that I've done.